And moving on through the card here, we got Julian Erosa versus Christian Rodriguez in the next one here. And Christian Rodriguez has been a little bit of a thorn in the UFC side. He's beaten a lot of their prospects, but in fighting, that's what earns you respect. And the UFC initially, I think, weren't sold on Rodriguez because they gave him Raul Rosas Jr., they gave him Cameron Simone, they gave him, I believe, a couple other tough matchups. But he showed that you can never sleep on him. He took these decision wins over these guys, and now I think they're giving him a fight where they're trying to see where he's at. If he can get past a gatekeeper like Julian Erosa, especially with him only having one fight now at 145, where he got a questionable decision win over Isaac Dogarian. I think they kind of want to see where he's at 145, and Erosa's a good tester guy. He's still hanging around in the UFC, and arguably saved his UFC career with that first round submission win in March over Hamosh. And he's a rare breed in general, though. I mean, this is his third stint in the UFC. He's a guy that's kill or be killed, and 6-4 in this recent run he's had with the promotion. He's fought really good guys. He's beaten really good guys like beat Sean Woodson, Nate Landwehr, Charles Jourdain, Hakeem Dawodu, Ricardo Hamosh. And historically, if you're beating Erosa, you're knocking him out. And if you can't finish him, he's usually taking you out late or taking that decision. So it's definitely an interesting fight with Rodriguez being more of a decisionator. And Rodriguez has looked really good in his last 4 fights. This is a totally different matchup, though, because you look at it, he was fighting a lot more grapplers. Now he's fighting a tall striker. I believe he's the tallest fighter that Rodriguez will have ever fought. And Rodriguez has to be ready to deal with pressure, wild stand-up, and kind of awkward style. And C-Rod's very fun to watch, though. He's super skilled everywhere. He's very composed on the feet. He throws very nice combinations, body head with his hands. He has some nice knees, elbows. More of a volume guy. He definitely isn't a very powerful striker. And defensively, he has good eyes, good distance control. His head movement is average, I would say, so sometimes shots can come through. And I do think that knee of Erosa is viable. But Rodriguez has a pretty good high guard. He blocks a lot of shots and is a high-volume guy. And his anti-grappling is elite. I mean, that's what's won him these fights in the UFC. Super slippery, hard to hold down, excellent cardio. He's been fighting nothing but fighters who've been looking to take him down, so his ability to beat that style has only gotten better. And he's beginning to implement his own takedowns into his game. He'll pressure fighters to the cage, level change. He has good trips as well, solid top control. And his ground and pound is pretty good. His pace is a weapon. So Erosa isn't going to be able to break Rodriguez with cardio like he has other guys. The question to me is if C-Rod has the power to hurt or keep Erosa off of him. I don't think Rodriguez wants to wrestle here just because Erosa has a dangerous guard and pretty good wrestling defense. Rodriguez is going to be the better boxer. He's going to be faster. If he picks and lands his shots well, he could knock out Erosa or point fight him to a decision win. But Erosa is a dog, and if it becomes a dog fight, then Erosa's going to have a chance. Whenever he steps in there, it's going to be a scrap with Julian Erosa, and he's going to walk down Rodriguez, try to use his size advantage, force exchanges. He's going to get wild, try to make it a high-paced dogfight, and he's an awkward striker. He lands some weird angles. He's long, powerful, and if he could, force a bad shot, he could lock up a choke as well. His knees, his head kicks are pretty good, but his chin is a gigantic liability, and his defense is his offense, so he's going to get hit. His last 3 fights, he's been dropped. 2 of them, he's been stopped with strikes. And in 7 of his losses, he's been finished with via knockout. So Rodriguez is the smaller guy. He's coming up in weight and isn't known for power. So Erosa probably is going to feel confident he could take those shots. But you only need one clean shot to potentially put Erosa out. And Erosa is a great grappler. I don't know his jiu-jitsu rank, but he is a black belt as far as MMA jiu-jitsu goes to me. He has really sick front chokes. He's a really nasty guard. 13 submission wins, and he's never been submitted. So his grappling is legit. His cardio has been one of the best weapons, just like C-Rod. But I think this line's a little off because any fight where Erosa doesn't get knocked out will be a dogfight, and Rodriguez hasn't been pushed in that way that we've seen, really. But honestly, it's hard to trust Erosa, and I think that Christian Rodriguez is going to be faster, and I think he could find that finish. So I'll say he wins via KO TKO in the first round.